so super much. All right, so we're already doing it. So let's just get into it. I'm
Okay.
super duper excited to
Okay.
welcome my friend Danielle LaPorte to Hello Freedom. We're going to be talking about her brand new book, baby, which is amazing, which we've just been talking about, called White Hot Truth Clarity for Keeping It Real on Your Spiritual Path. Here's the important part: from one seeker to another.
That's from me to you.
That's right. Because, like, who's not a mother effing seeker? Do you know what I mean? Like, the honest people tell the truth about the fact that we're all seeking,
Yeah.
and maybe something I've found is valuable to you, or maybe you've something, something you found is valuable. This whole effing book is valuable, though. I have to say it's so timely, because so many of the women that I work with and women in my group and what I'm doing do this exact thing. So let's just get into it.
Okay.
You talk about your belief. Now you feel like it was an erroneous belief that having like ridiculous amounts of tolerance was sort of a sign of high spirituality, or like something you were striving for. So let's just start there and then we'll keep going.
Let me just ask a technical question. Is my
Sure.
sound good, or should I put in my headset?
You can, I don't know. I mean, why don't you put it in just to see?
Okay, let's do that
Cool.
because Mercury's retrograde.
Yeah, I've been in total denial of that. Like, I'm just not even. I'm like, it's over soon. I keep saying to myself, just don't even.
I don't like this look, this headset look, but we're gonna do it anyway because I think it's better for
You know what?
everybody.
Wow, the sound is so much better.
Right, right. I actually have this other super pro thing, but anyway, let's do this. So, here's my experience. If only I were more loving, then ... Maybe I should get to yoga and open my heart chakra more. This is my family of origin stuff. I need to talk to my therapist about this on Monday. Yeah, okay. And all of that is like, because I'm seeking and I want to be tolerant and I want to create harmony and I want to be a loving person. So I'll just take all this on. Meanwhile, I'm not being met in the way that I want to be met. There's some situations I'm in that are, I would say, there's so much neglect happening on the other person's part. I would say it's actually borderline abusive.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be spiritual, so I'll just take the shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So the distinction that in doing all of this work and what you've experienced in the last, 10 to 20 years, let's say, on this path, is that you can be a loving person and not take shit from people.
Yeah. In fact, no, it's even better. Everybody, it's even better. You can be a loving person and not take shit from people. And by not taking shit from people, you actually become a more loving person.
Yes.
Like, you're clearer and you're wiser and your calendar kind of opens up because you're not busy taking shit from other people, and you have time for people, and you look people in the eye because you're present, because your energy isn't being drained by somebody else who's taking advantage of you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It all works out. Yeah.
But that's a really, really, I think, important point, because I think that so much of the time, as being seekers and wanting to get better, and the whole premise of the book, there's many, many premises, but the whole thing is about, if you're, are the things that you're doing to make yourself well and free actually making you well and free? Or is it just another like big stick that you use to like beat yourself in the face with? And how maybe
Jersey style. Yeah.
if we're just going to get down to that image. But so I just want to say that for people who don't actually know about the book, which I feel like I can't imagine that you don't, but maybe you don't, and how to create it as asking better questions and really having compassion be what leads what it is that you're doing, right? That, you say the best self-help is self-compassion. So tell me let's talk about that a little bit, shall we?
Okay. So, well, from the big esoteric, everybody else's teachings, I'll start there and then we're going to end up in my bathtub together.
Great.
You know, Buddhism talks so much about friendliness and that your true nature is warm, luminous, and friendly. And when I first heard that, I was like, wow, that's so, really, is it that simple, or is that just some Instagram thing that got all twisted and quoted as the Buddha, you know, but friendly, huh? Okay, so let's just pause that. Jump cut to, I'm in my bathtub and I'm crying and I'm trying to pray to someone, like, what angel can help me now? I've gone through all the angels. And just ease the pain of my divorce, which you know, participated in helping me with. And I said to myself, you poor thing. And I'd never, ever, 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 ever said that to myself. I never said that to myself. I never said it to anybody else. I thought that was victim mentality. I thought that was loser, you poor thing. And that's what I would have said to a friend who showed up on my sofa crying. You poor thing.
Of course.
This sucks. Of course you're stuck. Of course you're still crying. Of course. And that was can't hear you. I can't see you.
No,
can you hear me?
froze.
Oh,
so you're going to go from the point where it killed when you said that was a big. So that was a big what?
That was a big spiritual human moment for me. Yeah, that was home.
But when you analyze what really happened, it's so interesting because it was like all of the going out. So the angels and the guides and the whoever was going to, and then what you really did in the tub is come back home and realize the empathy that I need is from myself. It's not blaming myself or that I chose wrong or all the ways that we make ourselves wrong when we're in pain. I mean, how many times in my life have I said, well, it's your own fault? Like something I'd never, ever say to you as my friend. Would I?
Right. No.
Ever be that mean?
No.
Of course not. Compassion, but when it would come to self, it's easy to just say, well, you should have known better, you know, stupid, again, like, yeah.
Yeah, love.
Yeah. So tell me more about this, your journey to your own white hot truth, because what I see this book as is like it's a how-to for other people to find their own white hot truth.
Well, I wanted to feel like this permission slip that you don't really need from anybody else, but I'm just saying, stop criticizing yourself for all the silly things you've done. Like, I think you're either at the point where you're like, you're in it, you're still going to the workshops, you're trying everything, you're reading, you're like, okay, this 7 steps, this supplement, this person, I'm going to go. So you might be there. Or you're where I was at the beginning of writing this book, which was, oh my God, I got to stop going to the workshops. This isn't working. I've heard the same thing in the same books. And in which case I want to say, okay, now you're about to recapitulate all the things you've done. Please do not feel like a loser about it. So it's good. You had to do this. You had to waste some money. You had to give your power away. You had to take some really bad advice. In my case, I had to sit there and let a therapist be really shitty and mean to me before I took my power back and realized, you know what? It's actually really okay of me. It's actually very evolved of me to want to be liked, maybe even have the daring to want to be loved by someone I'm having a therapeutic relationship with. I needed to do that. So not only do you need to do all this, here's the big, awesome, good marquee news. It's an initiation. Like, you got to do it. You have to get so-called off track to realize you're always on track. And it's part of the journey to wholeness. So you're awesome. This is just a big manifesto of saying you're not a loser. You're actually pretty awesome. Yeah.
What's so great, though, about what I love about the book is that you share all of the many things that, and so many of us, of course, have done all of the many things that you talk about, from Akashic record reading to all of the crystals to the angels to the, and of course, because we know all the same people, I knew all the people. When you described what their modality was, I was like, I know exactly who that is. I did a session with them. And it's so interesting how in the seeking, it's like there is the process itself. The whole book is about the process itself is what it's supposed to be. So you're not doing it wrong. And to question, I think it is really important. Another really deep question that you ask is it's not about how we seek the spiritual fulfillment. It's understanding for yourself why you are seeking it. And in the videos, which we'll put all the links in the podcast notes and the blog notes, but there's so many amazing videos. And what I love about what's happening, because I'm already in the book group, so White Hot Truth Global Book Group, so awesome. My whole entire Real Love Revolution, like just everyone, we're so excited because there's 18 free videos. There's all this written content, and I was saying to Vic, which obviously my husband, I was saying I cannot believe how generous Danielle is being. And I really was like, this is what it is when you're actually aligned with your heart's mission to reach as many people as possible. Awesome. It's just so beautiful. I mean, so you guys who are listening, ladies, come. It's 18 videos. It's all free, written stuff. You don't even have to buy a friggin' book to be in the book club. Like, she's giving away the chapters one at a time. But if you're seeking a community, if you're seeking a dialogue, if you want to be in conversation about this, because no one else is having this conversation, Danielle. Not this way. They're really, really not. And as I always say about you, it's the truth, is that you're always right ahead of the curve but you're really more than right ahead, because you had to be 2 years ahead in order to actually have this book come out when we really needed it to come out, which would be right about in a few weeks from now. I mean, it's out, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So for you, what is your motivation to curate this global book club, and what are you hoping? What's your trip on that?
Here's our commitment as a company. We consider ourselves to be broadcasters of light, and so I have to keep my vessel clean. And I have to practice to be as awake as I can be, and I'm doing it for my reason, for my own fulfillment, and then I make a living off of it. So it's that. I'm just taking off my socks here. I'm getting so hot talking about you. And so primary goal as a business entity, get our work, get the light out to as many people as possible. Period. So as many people as possible means that you do a lot of stuff for free, because that's how you get it out to as many people as possible. Yep. And then how do we make a good living along the way? Okay, well, we could sell this, and this costs a lot of money to make, so we need to break even and then some on that. So that's why we're doing it. And I'm not into anything that feels like it's a contest or there's a barrier to entry. Or I'm manipulating you to buy more, feels super gross. It just feels gross, period, to me. So, we're like super smart about our marketing. Like, I make sure I look my best, and I make sure, I'm talking to your pain points, but not just out of marketing psych 101, but because I've got possibly something to help with those pain points.
Yeah, which is sort of different than like trampling on the pain points to be like, this is the only thing.
Do you feel like a loser? Is it possible? Holding out for your soulmate for 25 years? Right. Yeah. Still binge eating, which the context is you're a loser and I have the solution. Yeah.
Right. And really the whole underlying thing of the entire book and every chapter is inspiring people to be their own guru. Yeah. So tell me about you becoming your own guru.
Work in progress. It's uncomfortable. That's what I have to say about it. It's really it's hard. It's uncomfortable work. It's like in yoga, in some practices, it's about repetition, like Kundalini yoga, especially the repeat, repeat, repeat. And you hit that, you're like, I'm loving this, I'm loving this, I'm hating this, I'm hating this. Ah. And then you get through this, you go, I'm euphoric, I'm awesome, right? And that's what it's like being in charge of your own life. It's like, oh, I'm loving this, I can do whatever I want. And then the decisions come up that you have to make, and you have to stay focused, and you have to keep breathing, and you got to keep clean, and you got to not take any input. And you're like, I'm hating this. I just want somebody to give me the answer. Yes. I want to know which way to turn. And then you make the decision. You're like, I'm awesome, and I'm euphoric, and that's what it's like. And I'm really for real practicing what I've been preaching about, which is I'm on an input fast right now. Mm-hmm. So even though I will tell you in full admit, it is like going to an AA meeting. I did last week maybe inquire about a psychic reading, but I couldn't find the right person. And then I found somebody else, and I just like, she was on holiday. I was like, no, it's the universe supporting you, being your own guru. Yep. Don't go there. You don't need to know what probably isn't going to happen in the future anyway. Right? It's only 50-50 anyway, so I may as well save my own money. So yeah, I just pause and think, what do I want to do? What's my body got to say? It doesn't mean I don't feel nervous and sweaty and like calling 10 people to ask them what they would do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes,
and the codependent in me just wants to be like, make sure it's me, because I'll be up at 2 a.m. to be in the bathroom while everyone else is sleeping to talk to you.
You will, as you have been. Yeah, I mean, you guys, for everybody listening, there have been moments in our friendship where I'm just like, isn't it like 2:30 in the morning right there? Why are you talking to me? And she's like, never mind, just
so, tell me what's going on.
How did you feel when he said?
I love you. You're so funny. So let's go on to, there was something that really struck me, and I think it was in chapter 3. How can you stop craving to be different?
Oh, to be different than you are right now. Hard work. I mean, I think that question, that might be one of the most important questions in the book. Yep. So everybody, let's do it right now. Yep. Can you imagine right now not craving to be different than how you are right now? You're the same. You're going to just be the weight you are.
Forever?
Forever.
Maybe, in this visualization, am I this weight forever?
You're this way, you know what? You're this way right now. Because when we get into the whole forever thing, that's when we start to go fucking nuts, right? So right now, you're this weight, you're in this relationship, or you're solo, you're in this job. What would it be like to not want to change any of that? If you could even just not want to change any of it for 5 minutes, it's a victory. Really, it's like, don't you think, Terri, it like interrupts your neural pathways, to use your language?
Yes, but you make such a really good point, which is doing it. Like actually imagine, because the question, can you imagine? And even though I've obviously done a shit ton of work in my life and I've had 800,000 years of therapy, whatever, but I really, when you just said, can you imagine? And I was like, I don't know. But then you said, can you for 5 minutes be in total acceptance? And then I would take it one step further and say celebration of where I am right now, of every lesson that we learn. It's all an honor and a privilege, even the really shitty stuff, right? Even the really painful stuff. It's like part of being alive on this journey, but that's a really different way. Can you stop craving being different than you are right now? And what would change? The real question, and for you, when you were able to do it, when you got into radical acceptance, even if it was for 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Yes, but what was the experience?
Spaciousness. Like, I feel like spaciousness and trust, somehow those go together. Like, I'm where I'm at. I'm not trying to get or improve or shape or attain. And then I just think, oh, ideas come to me then. I'm like, hey, I need to write about this, or I should go to Amsterdam this summer, or you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to stop working right now. I'm going to just go sit down somewhere.
Right.
Radical.
Right.
Yeah. Just going to be right now. Oh my God. And and what happens in that being is everything we're craving. Peace, peace, peace in the being. Yeah. Like, we're working so hard to just have some free time.
Right.
Yeah.
We could just take it, actually, especially being entrepreneurs that we are. I mean, and even being moms, even being so many of the women in my Real Love Revolution group, it's like there's always reasons not to do it. I didn't want to get up today and go to yoga at 7 o'clock, Yoga to the People on 8th Street. I didn't want to. But I knew I'd be glad that I did. And then, so again, is that forcing? I don't know. For me,
I don't know, is it?
Well, when I came back and took a shower, then I had the spaciousness I wanted, the time to meditate that felt good. So I don't know. I feel like it's, I wouldn't have beat myself up or made myself super wrong if I hadn't done it. I would have probably walked 2 miles around the city. I would have done something else. But I don't know, like the question is between making the choices, because so much of the book, all right, let me finish effing thought, shall I?
Okay.
Making the choices that are not habitual, right, are not just the things that we do because we must do them to have the size 8 ass we are seeking or whatever the hell it is. But it is also making the choices that are, for me, they're good choices for me. With the flexibility that if I really needed to sleep, if I'd only gotten 5 hours, I wouldn't have gotten up. Like I would have slept, and I would have slept the extra hour and a half and let myself, because at this age and stage, sleep is more important, But so what is how do you balance out how do you know? All right, here's a question. How do you know when you're doing it the perfectionistic way too much, or when you're doing it because it's a choice that is the right one for you to make?
For me, my experience is I will say to myself, but I love doing this. Like I have to remind myself that it's something I actually love.
Yeah.
And because I mean, at this point, I don't do things I don't love. I'm over that. I'm really over that. But still, just like this morning, I get up, I have to leave room for meditation, and I've got a son that I like making his breakfast. I like making his lunch. I probably want to walk with him to school. That means I need some discipline in the morning to make all those things happen. And in the mornings when I wake up, I go, I could just skip this. I go, but I actually love meditating. I love sitting and doing it. Okay, and I'm also learning that I am not my body. Like I am, but I'm not. Through pushing, this may sound so normal to everybody else who's more athletically inclined, but for me, pushing myself to do things physically over the last year or so has taught me so much about myself spiritually. It's like, you're not going to fucking die if you go to spin class when you're tired. In fact, you're going to find the energy, the prana that you find when you meditate. So but it's the only doing activities that I truly love. Yeah.
That's so huge. And I have to say that I think that most women, many, many, many women, definitely women in my crew, do a lot of stuff that they don't want to do. And getting rid of the auto yes is like step one, I feel like, to saying yes to yourself, right? But the expansion, as you said before, that comes from just deciding what you love. Actually taking the time to try out a spin class to see if it's something that, even if you're not super athletically inclined, I mean, that required energy, effort, intention to do that, and it's like all of the stuff that's for self, because what I got so much out of the book, besides being so identified with your journey and so many great and funny stories in the book, and just you with crystals in your bra heading to the White House
Yeah.
to have your think tank. Okay. And that they got through the scanner. That's how
Yeah.
magical they are. Just so good and so funny and so fun. And yet it's like the permission to, it's a permission, but it's also a challenge, I think, to have people have to think for themselves, make the distinction on their own, because the truth is, you cannot, and I cannot, and nobody who's in this empowerment world. We all have our gurus, or the people whose work has inspired us, has helped us on our evolutionary path. You could name 5, I could name 5, right now. But that's also not the same as me thinking that Deepak Chopra knows.
That's right.
What I should do.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say about choosing stuff that you love, and then about the Deepak dynamic, is what makes it so more difficult to choose what you love in this self-help space is part of the group think of self-help space of like, this is helping me and it's about liberation and we're trying to make the world a better place. What could be bad about this? And you're like, I don't fucking like this. This doesn't fit my personality, my psychology type. Like, when I realized that I was never going to go to a Vipassana retreat and sit for hours at a time watching my in-breath and my out-breath. I mean, I tried it. It's just not how I'm wired. Yeah. It's not how I'm wired. There was so much criticism I gave myself about that I must be terrified to really face the true me, that I wasn't really a disciple of the cosmos. Like, no, it's just not in my makeup. Just ask my astrologer. And then the dynamic you brought up about like the difference between thinking someone like Deepak or someone out there knows what's right. Nobody who's in human form knows what's right all the time for everybody. I think it's really good, and this is why transparency is so useful in the self-help space, in the marketing space especially. Everybody's suffering over something, or everybody went through something, suffering and initiation, like to get to where they are, which is somewhere everybody else is idolizing. And thirdly, you have something to contribute to the conversation. I mean, those moments where I've been with people I consider like high level esoteric masters or the real deal, and I wouldn't say gave them pause to think, but I could keep up with them. I was like, wow, I'm a little bit luminous and you're a whole lot human, and this really works. Everybody has something to add to the conversation. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I think that the thing about looking outside of ourselves is that we're so conditioned in especially being women. We are the bridgers, the assuagers, the connectors in life, and we're always taking the temperature of everyone in the room of like, is everyone okay? Does everyone have what they need? Is everything great?
Anybody hungry? You good? Anybody? You good? You're good? Okay. Yeah.
Does anybody need a snack? Like, seriously, it doesn't matter.
I have snacks in my purse.
Of course. You have low blood sugar? Don't worry. I have something. I have something for that. But what happens when we're doing this on such a regular basis is that we get further and further away from who we are and knowing who we are and what we want and what our preferences are. And in sharing all of your experiences, but there's so much wisdom. I mean, Dee, this is my favorite. I mean, I love all your stuff, but this really, I think, I don't know, whatever. I really love Desire Map too, but this is my newest favorite because it's so much more than it really is a how-to, and it's permission granted. Not that you are granting it, your experience. Your honesty and your transparency with your experience in the book. That's what I feel like is giving the permission. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not like you being like, I decided you should do it.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be funny? Like writing a book about being your own guru. So I'm the guru of being your own guru. And for
I was
$4.95,
just gonna say.
I can help set you free.
And the
Um,
upsell is
but your point about you getting further away from your power, yeah, I wish I would have written more about that. It's such an important one because it's really a horrible feeling, actually, when you realize you spent a lot of money and a lot of time, and for me, done a lot of preaching. Like, look how many people I hooked you up with. You should call. You should go.
seriously.
um, and you realize, like, not so much that you still have work to do, but you just kind of have that feeling of you're just getting started. In some ways, it's pretty sobering. Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
It happens quickly. You wake up. Once you have that revelation, all your wisdom's been building up in escrow, and you can get on it pretty soon. Yeah,
That's so true about how it's a cumulative process. The
yeah,
fear of, as you would say, like stepping into the power of discernment, right? People's fear of that. This is what you want them to do, and we hope they do, but there's a fear of it. When you can get past that fear, all of those experiences and that cumulative wisdom that you've gained in your own life experience is there for you.
it's there. Yeah, nothing was wasted. Nothing was wasted, except for that one workshop.
Yeah, the guy with the purple drop crotch pants, that guy.
Yes, yeah, that
I
one.
can't.
Yeah.
I love that part of the book too. That's so funny. Where have you not ever been? You guys who haven't read it yet or listened to it, she's in a workshop, and of course, one guy sitting next to her is in drop crotch purple pants and moccasins on his feet.
Moccasins, because they go together. You have to buy them together. Yeah.
You have to buy them together. It's mandatory. And then they're actually having this like existential conversation, not existential at all, but pretending to be, about why the sky is blue and why we're all in agreement as humans, at least in North America, that the sky is blue or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where it's such your experience was what of that? Please tell us.
Well, I was like in personal agony right now. This was like the height of divorcedom, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care why our consciousness as a collective all buys into the, thinking certain colors are certain colors, and we all see things the same way, because my ex just sexted me accidentally. Is meant for somebody else, his new girlfriend. And I'm in a retreat about love and Buddhism, and I want to go bash his headlights in as soon as I get the fuck out of this retreat today. So why doesn't someone talk to me about that? About how to deal with like pain and vengeance and moving the fuck on and forgiveness and what I'm worth, instead of why we all think the sky is blue. I don't care. Yes.
What was great though is what you really wanted to talk about was like the potential value of vengeance.
Like, is there some Buddhist noble truth?
Please let there be.
About just, because I got a baseball bat in my back trunk, and I could just bam, bam, nobody would know.
But it would feel so
good. So good. I just hit delete instead, but yeah.
Yes. Delete is good. All right, so let's talk about, for people who want the book, want to see you. So obviously I'm seeing you in New York with a million other people, which is so fun. But we're going to have all the links to that too. But let's talk about all the stuff that's happening and how people can participate in figuring out their own white hot truth. So the book club.
Well, the book club's cool. And what we're doing, I don't know when this is going to air, but we're going to start putting out journal prompts. So we're calling it the Journal Invitational. And it's these big questions. And I'll just give you the first one right now.
Yay.
Do a laundry list. I'm calling it the laundry list of self-improvement. And look at, you're basically taking an inventory of all the stuff you're doing right now to be well and good. And there's going to be coaching and therapy and supplements. There's going to be new techniques you're using, like ways to communicate with other people, and there's prayers and there's meditations. Like, this is not all cynical and some of this is really valuable, awesome stuff.
Yep.
And then you're going to go through and you're going to ask yourself, is this really helping? And some of it is going to be obviously dumb and wasteful, and it's making you feel constricted and heavy, and it's like, one more therapy thing. And other things on your list, even though they feel like hard work, like getting your ass out of bed for yoga or for meditation, you love it when you get there. You feel really great when you leave. It is adding value to your life. You don't even really think that much about how much it costs. Like, of course, this is part of my budget. You're expanding because of it.
Right.
And then the next step is, you might want to consider what on your laundry list of self-help needs to be retired or improved. Like, therapy is really working for me, but I could take it to the next level if I did less of it, or if I had this particular conversation with my therapist.
Yes.
And then maybe there's some blank spots. It's like, I really want to clean up my eating or something. I need a nutritionist, or I need to do a cleanse, or something like that.
Right.
And maybe you're overboard on all of it, and you need to just burn the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And give yourself a break and come back and whenever you want, not even in 6 months. And if meditation feels like a good idea, do it. If you want to become a vegetarian, steam some broccoli, have some celery juice. Yeah.
I love it. So we have the Facebook group where that's our book club is on Facebook. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that where we join? Is that where we get the videos and
yes,
everything?
Yes, it is.
All right. I'm just making sure so people know. And then they can go to all the live events everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of live events. Yeah.
And then they can buy the book on everywhere, but Amazon.com and right.
Buy the book everywhere. It's already a bestseller.
It
just
sure is.
Status, yeah.
It's so exciting. Congratulations on that. I mean, it happened already. And really, have any physical, I have my physical copy, but I think I got mine from you. I ordered more, but are the physical copies shipping yet or no, not yet?
Nothing. Everything ships on May 16th.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then New York is May 17th.
New York is May 17th. So the cool thing about pre-ordering now is you get the audiobook for free. And actually, as Terri and I were talking about this before we went live, I actually think the audiobook is the best thing to do. Like, don't read the book, just listen to the book, because I really get my point across vocally.
Yes.
And so if you order now, you get that for free. New York launch party is Wednesday, May 17th. It's going to be really beautiful. And I hope it sells out. There's 800 tickets and it probably will. So get your ticket, bring your girlfriend, catch a train, get a flight. And if you can't be there, it's going to be live streamed. And there's lots happening. But yeah,
what are the cities?
Do the book club. You don't even need to buy the book to be in the book club. Other cities, I'm going to do, but buy the book anyway. Other cities, I'm going to be in Seattle, Wanderlust on May 21st. That's a Sunday. I'll be speaking on the main stage at 12:50 p.m. It'll be really quick. I'm going to do a spoken word piece and talk about social justice. Right. Yes. And then I'm going to be sort of in this tent on my own with hundreds of other people signing books. Great. And then San Francisco, June 16th, Grace Cathedral, and LA, June 23rd. I'm using Agape Space. Oh. And I say using Agape, just people are like, oh, are you preaching with Michael Beckwith? It's like, no, I'm just renting the Agape Space because I love the vibe there.
So much.
It's all me, and hopefully Michael will come because he's on my list of real deal people.
Oh, he's the sweetest.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This was so much fun. And you're doing a bunch of live streams. So this is going to go live on Friday. We're going to send it out to everyone. So the live stream info, like when you're doing it, will be in the Facebook group, right? So we all know when we can see you live.
Yes. Yeah. Just subscribe. Just go to DanielleLaPorte.com. It's all coming. We're very communicative.
Yes, you are. And I love it. Well, I super, super appreciate you taking the time and for us getting the word out there, spreading the light, spreading the love, spreading the funnies, because it is a hysterical book. And I love you, and I super appreciate your genius.
Thank you. We're so good together.
We need a TV show.
You're radiant and real, and I love it. And Terri, you're getting more beautiful all the time. I
don't know. Why, thanks.
More you and more free, and Your own and Terri. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, back to the days when I'm going to say, I don't even know how many years ago, 6 or something, where you were like, "Oh, hey, Tara." I was like, "Yeah." You're like, "How come I was in Vancouver visiting you, and we were in a coffee shop with Kate Northrup, and we were laughing our asses off about something. I was telling some story and cursing and blah blah, blah. And you were like, "Hey, Tara." I was like, "Yeah." You're like, "How come I never see that person in your videos?" I go, "What person?" You're like, "The one who's funny
You.
and compelling and actually who you are." I was like, "Well, why? I'm a therapist." You're like, "No, no, you're not. It's okay. You can curse." So anyway, thank you. I took your advice.
My pleasure.
All right, to be continued. Mwah.
Yeah. Mwah,
White
everybody.
hot
Thank you. Thank you.
truth.
Thank
Bye, honey.
you.